Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start this intro in 3, 2, 1. This is DreadLore, Theater of the Mind. We are playing DreadLore, a new tabletop role-playing game that promotes immersive roleplay. In DreadLore, players use their character traits to gain a bit of control over the fiction. And Ken uses some ability that we have no idea what to make his screen do some interesting things.
He makes it rain, baby.
Players use their character traits to gain just a bit of control over the fiction. And if their task is opposed or particularly difficult, they might have to throw down dice, that is. The game we are playing is the Red Writ.
The Red
Writ.
Game, although sometimes we like to take a break and play Into Space.
Into space.
But not this week. This week it's the Red Writ. So now, let's introduce the cast of this role-playing game, the Red Writ.
After this commercial. Right. So during this commercial break, how are you guys? We got a pretty good game coming on, don't we?
Yeah.
We dropped off last session of the Red Writ.
Red Writ.
On the beach.
Red Writ.
On the beach.
Customary beach episode.
We'll say in one sentence. How do you guys feel about it? How does your character feel? What do you think is going to happen? All that good stuff. We'll go with Holker first. Go.
I think I'm going to die.
Everybody.
I've got to protect Mariah.
Ken.
I'm really fucking high.
Andrea.
We're gonna put a stop to all this nonsense once and for all.
You're actually a hero.
Yeah.
Good. So the ad break ends in 1 minute and 44 seconds. So for anybody who's doing the subscriber stuff, you do not have ads. Well done. We're gonna do a little bit of a plug here. If you want to jump on the Patreon, patreon.com/DreadLore, and you're gonna get tons of behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Some watch parties. Interesting, a watch party is gonna be coming up next Monday. Hey Ken, what's happening next Monday?
I'm gonna be in a different state of mind and place.
Yeah, of mind and place. A theater.
We're gonna stream live.
We're definitely
right
gonna be
here
streaming live
on Twitch,
and
just
I'll
like
be
we do
here
every Monday.
the whole time. I'll be on the chat. Next week will be Into Space. Quite an interesting game session it will be. I can guarantee a lot of interesting things will happen. Yes, I feel like
We don't know what's happening yet because it'll be so very live.
It'll be in the present while we're streaming.
It'll be in the present tense. So.
It will be in the present tense. That's a good way to put it. Anyway, if you want to jump on the Patreon, we would love you to death. It really helps us continue doing what we're doing. If you want to get a book, since we are playing DreadLore, that's what all this is about, go to dreadlore.com and you'll find all of the links. Check it out, 5 seconds. Like, subscribe, all that bullshit. And back to Holker now.
Let us take some time to briefly introduce the cast of motley characters that make up this game and the people that bring them to life. Starting with Andrea.
Oh, hi, I'm Andrea Elliott-Johnson. I play, I almost said Katrina Thomas. I play Leah Mizrahi, who is a former IDF soldier and Mossad agent who, got sick of her life, constantly being at war, and so she moved to Detroit, where she had hoped her life would be more peaceful and more safe, but apparently
How'd that turn
she was
out?
quite wrong. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
did not turn out well. Wow.
Tragic. The tragic
All right.
hero.
Now let's meet the character played by Bill Bunkum.
I
right,
am
now
a meat
Drizzle.
popsicle.
I'm Drizzle, and I play Simon Vincent, the hard-boiled detective who is really, really missing his Buick right now.
Well, he's got
poor
a
Buick.
replacement Buick.
Ew.
Uh,
Yeah.
And now, Ken.
I am Ken.
I am
playing-
Ken.
I am Ken. I am playing a journalist who he's part journalist. He's part I guess conspiracy theorist, and in a large part drug addict.
Aren't they all?
Mhm.
And I am Daniel, and I play Tony Czerniak, a former priest turned border guard.
Guarding the border between Canada
And with that,
and the Free
let's
States.
thank the people behind the music. All lowercase letters, right?
Oh, lowercase
Yes.
letters.
Yeah.
You will listen to them and it will never get out of your head because it's
Yeah.
that fucking down.
Now, let's thank our Patreon members.
Yeah. Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah. I'm one of them. And then we got Tim Roberts. And we got Nostalgic.
Nostalgia.
You could be number 4 or 5 or 80.
Or more.
And thanks to the production by Couchfire Media. Make it rain.
I almost finished that off.
It actually totally worked out. It's pretty sweet.
And finally, thanks to Trois Productions.
Yeah, whoever they are.
Yeah. So, Bill, who's our sponsor tonight?
I figured that was coming. Preparation H
Really?
has not changed its logo in 65 years because we trust Preparation H with all of our bodily functions.
And they are
put
not our sponsor
Preparation-
tonight.
Who is our sponsor tonight, Hulker?
Well, I had a sponsor planned out, but I'm not going to give it because it would have worked a lot better if you were asking me who the sponsor was. But it's not going to
hey,
work.
Hulker. Hey, Hulker. Who's our
What?
sponsor tonight?
You want a sponsor? You want to bring another sponsor onto this podcast to experience the cold, infinite, abyssal void that is space? Huh? Have you thought about what that sponsor would need? But what about everyone else? What everyone else would think of someone with so many sponsors night after night? Do you want another sponsor to experience the extraordinarily long eons of time that pass by as an unavoidable part of space travel? Huh? Do you want a sponsor to travel through space and time and eventually encounter aliens that have 2 buttholes? Did you know that these aliens developed 2 buttholes as a result of eating ultra-processed, flash-frozen food down to absolute zero for 3 million years? You know what that does? 3 million years of that will do to a digestive system. It will spur Darwinian solutions in an enclosed space. These aliens are superior. They have superior technology in every way, but that doesn't matter because the only thing we really remember is that they have 2 buttholes. Do you really want this for the next sponsor?
Think about the amount of Preparation H possible think about the compliance. Thank you, double butthole down, space aliens. Hello, third viewer. Sorry you jumped in on that. Thank you, Preparation H, for sponsoring our
They're not
stream.
the
Hey, listen. We went behind your back, okay? I didn't want to tell you like this.
If Preparations H is our sponsor, I need more money.
It's either them or colon blow. Anyway,
Oh, there. Well, I mean, you don't have to pay for Colon Blow. That's a reputable company, and I stand behind that.
you stand behind it. Right, so that's our sponsor, Christ Almighty. It's getting better. If you guys want to be a part of the sponsorship, meaning if you want to be lampooned heartlessly, unadulteratedly by Hulker, there's a Patreon for that. You can be a part of it. I don't know why you would, but you know, some people like the masochism. So tonight, the Red Writ. Anyone?
Red Writ.
Thank you.
Red Writ.
What is the Red Writ? It is Detroit, 1982. Something weird is going down. Something weird in the sky. Something weird in the sea. Lake St. Clair. Something weird on the streets. But no one seems to notice except for our intrepid investigators. The cast before you. They have found themselves roped in to a mystery, which has proven itself to be deadly to their sanity, to their physical forms, nay, perhaps their souls. DJ No Fly redeemed Don't Slouch. And that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with a little bit of a recap of last session, and we're going to get right into it with the montage. Note to the chat, thank you for joining. If you are in the chat, please say hello to us. Remember, there are dread points, aka channel points, which you can spend. You can remind us to drink heavily, not slouch. You can highlight a message. You can gift players resources, a pip or a narrative point, and the descriptions are all there. Just let us know. Rock and roll, and let's rock and roll. Where were we last time? Let's go around. Robin, where is your character at present? Start with Andrea, a.k.a. Leah Mizrahi.
Yeah, so Leah had scooped Mariah up in her arms and told her to sing a song to herself because she was hearing things in her head, which probably not great. So Leah is trying to console her daughter in a sense, and they are entering the forest together, with Leah having drawn her pistol ready to encounter whatever foes they might encounter.
Mr. Ken / Nord Zetterberg.
Nord is holding a cone of cold, or whatever.
Cone of cold.
We've got the brews, and we're bringing it to the party with Simon and Nord hanging out. Bros going to the beach, yo.
Hulker, a.k.a. Tony Czerniak.
Tony is still trying to process the insight he gained by realizing that these idiots who are on the boat with us are just going to be the thralls that have been haunting us throughout these past few days, at the very least. It's almost like they're being turned into cultists.
And we'll move on. No, Drizzle / Simon Vincent. P.I.
I have the other end of the cooler, the whatever.
The
if it's
cooler.
not- what looks like a cooler with very big frozen bomb stuff in it. And I'm starting to head into the woods with my gun ready.
With the gun ready, you guys are on Belle Island. We do have a map of this. Hopefully you guys have access to said map. You've been on Belle Island before. It's a creepy place. It's got heavily forested regions. Belle Island is closed to the public, so you guys are breaking the law. Okay? You are breaking the law. There's a couple ways onto Belle Island. When I say a couple, I mean 3. One is the Shambly walkway, this bridge that is kind of dangling there. You'd used it before, but it is treacherous. Further south to the south and west is an actual bridge that is actually closed. You guys are on the northeast of the island. So if you're looking at the map, that northernmost point. The third way, the way that you actually took to get to Belle Island, was on a boat. The boat was full of cultists who didn't attack you. In fact, they venerated you because last game, you all somehow convinced them that you were like cultists yourself, and not just any cultists, were like elevated in some way. You bore witness to some seriously fucked up shit, and it cost you some sanity. Regardless, you crossed onto Belle Island. The cultists themselves stayed. They're in some kind of reverie. You walk down the beach. This is a place you'd been there before. There were 2 paths. One was directly into the forest from the bridge, or from the docks, I should say. A stony path with tiki torches lit. You knew that it, actually, since you've been there, you know it leads down, down, down to a meeting circle where you saw some scary things last time you were here, although it was during the day. You decided not to go that way. You went down the beach instead, along the beach to where this adventure started, where Nord had snuck onto the island and saw a vision of the white doe. So you go back to this place. It is not at all daytime. It is very dark. It's about 1 a.m. or so. The weather is completely different from just a few days ago. Schizophrenic weather. A massive storm shitting out all kinds of sleet, blizzard, lightning even, and thunder has erupted all over the city. The city lights have gone out. Things are starting to freeze. It is apocalyptic weather. As you find yourselves at the entrance to this, it's not a hidden path per se, but not an easily found path. You all know what's on the inside. You've been here before. You know, a little bit deeper into the forest, maybe 100, 200 feet. There's going to be a large stone statue that'll have writing all over it, cuneiform writing. You've identified it as a kind of unholy statue of sorts, which Leah actually marred and desecrated. Beyond that, you knew that there was a tent, and then there's the deep forest, which you tranced through for a few hours the last time you were here, before finding yourself on the eastern side of the island at this lake, where ostensibly some occult shit is going to be going down. This is a little bit different of a situation. It's cold. Temperature's dropping to 15, 10 degrees. There's a frigid wind that seems to cut through you while you're standing here on the beach. Takes your breath away. You notice, despite the body of water of this large lake, Lake St. Clair, which rarely freezes, the shoreline is starting to freeze. It's getting slippery. You note a couple things. Being that Detroit is completely dark, save for 2 ominous fires you can see burning in the distance. There is, on the opposite bank, a lighthouse, an abandoned lighthouse, as it's known, and the light is on. Now, granted, you're on the opposite bank, but the light is on, which is strange. Also, a few miles, again on the other side, the opposite bank, in the rich neighborhood, Grosse Pointe, there's a hill with a cemetery, Bald Hill Cemetery, and there lights are on as well. This is where the occultists live, or at least some of them have a sanctuary there. All of you see this. As the action is on you, we're in the montage. Go.
So we taking this.
Yeah, you carry this way better than Tony.
I've carried heavy stuff before. We working this to the lake, or we want to stop first before we get there?
You want to check out that what's it called? You want to check out that little hut again? I just had a feeling that somebody was in there before, and I don't know. Maybe we can get some insight from them. Maybe they're there. Maybe they're not there. I don't know.
We can. It's down this path, right? Before we hit the lake.
Yeah, it's just a different way to get there. Plus, I think we're going to have a better time getting the cooler into the water of that lake. You know, if we don't just go in the front door.
You mean the lake where monster dude flew out and chased us?
Wait, I don't think anything flew out. It was just kind of
something
under
was there.
The water. Yeah. You know, hopefully this freezer thing that we're gonna do doesn't like help open the porthole. Like it's not a demon of cold or something. That'd probably be pretty bad, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Don't jinx us before we even get there.
Sorry. I like the idea of throwing this thing in there, though. That'll definitely throw a wrench into whatever's going on.
Well, since I don't have any protective clothing, let's go ahead and get moving.
It's not so warm. I mean, it's not so cold here on the island for some reason. It's a lot warmer here than it was back in the city.
Indeed. As you enter the forest a little bit, maybe not being too brazen about it, and you're also carrying this heavy ttrpg chest, it's almost as though that forest is insulated from the cold a little bit. It's around 40 degrees in here. Your footfalls still crunch. The vegetation here and there has icicles, but oddly, there's a humidity, a kind of heat. Simon, I don't know if you would consider it a supernatural heat. This could be, the forest is very dense. Remember, think like Fangorn forest thick, like gnarl, thick trunks of trees, limbs hanging down, brush all over, save for the brush that you guys have cut away in your previous entry. Perhaps that's what it is.
Blocking all the cold.
Action is on all you guys.
Let's do
So,
go ahead.
do it, I guess.
I guess we got to move forward. I mean,
We
it's not
can
like
talk as we
I'm
walk.
not going back in the water.
Oh, you didn't know, Tony. We were going to throw you in with the chest.
I
Sorry, I
think I'll
didn't
read
mean to
another
ruin the
book.
surprise.
That's why we're throwing you in.
What do you get out of those books anyway, Tony? What did they do for you?
First of all, the Latin, it's original. It's so different than what I had to read in seminary, and poetic, and it's got a rhythm to it, and it's like nothing else I've ever read in Latin.
Mariah looks up at you, back and forth between you, Nord, and you, Tony, with a questioning look on her face. She's lightly humming this nursery rhyme intermittently to herself.
And it's melodic too.
Let's be real. I mean, anybody who once wanted to be a priest probably has a thing for dusty old tomes. And, well, I'm not going to make an association between that and other things, but, you know. Let's just say the Catholic Church has a bit of a reputation. It's building up a little. But I'm sure you're a stand-up guy, Tony.
I just like to read Latin.
But he's not with the church anymore. He's a border guard. He's just a hobbyist in the occult or in the Latin.
Yeah, and I think those occult people are onto something. I don't know what.
They are
Yeah,
onto
you looking
something.
to become a joiner?
No, I don't want to join them, but you know, I think it'd be nice to actually know what they're doing.
Well, I got my beliefs. I think we kind of hit it pretty hard the last time we got together, or just a few minutes ago. You know, this Erishkigal character.
When you say her name, a peal of thunder.
Probably shouldn't have said that.
I got a better one for you. And Leah will start, mumbling just over and over, 2 by 2 hands of blue.
Oh yeah, you do. It rhymes.
You think that'll help? Anyway, there's
Better than
this.
nothing. They said they would help us.
There's this, I guess, battle. I'm presuming between Lady Callie, who is some kind of betrayer, and maybe she's bringing up a deep one. I don't know the details. It's all kind of fuzzy and speculative for my own personal taste, but like it's the Dark Dreamer.
Yeah, that's what
she was betrayed by somebody. And I think that it's Lady Callie that's betraying the powers that be and trying to open the porthole between our world and their world, or it's just a weird weather pattern, and maybe I'm on a lot of drugs. I mean, there's really no telling about all.
You know what that portal needs? You know what that portal needs that would really, really help the situation out?
What's that?
A border guard. Like a question.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They showed up.
You need to get the
before
papers.
They crossed into our world. Where? They need someone who can stand there and ask, "Where, sir, do you want to go in our world? How many people do you want to turn into cultists, and why? Also, do you have any liquor to declare?"
If they don't have the right documentation, we're gonna have to turn them back.
Exactly, and it's not like they know how to get a visa. And besides, there's no visa-free travel to other dimensions. We haven't signed any treaties to that effect.
I think we're on to something. Here.
But they didn't do that.
No.
So
No
Yeah.
admittance without a passport.
If only the power of the U.S. government extended into other dimensions, then maybe we would have a leg to stand on here.
but that's not the case. So I guess we're gonna go to that lake.
Simon, it's getting really cold. As they're all sort of talking, and there's a moment where you look over, you see Nord, and he's very animated. He's gesticulating, he's talking. He's much more animated than he has been before, or in just the last couple days. But you notice his eyes just bugged out and dilated. Nord, describe your character really quick in this moment as Simon sees him.
Nord just recently created a concoction which he believes will have a very impactful effect into our future endeavors. But I think it gave him a dose of like he got a little whiff of it in that moment. So it's kind of like PCP or Coke or something like that, where he's electrified. I think in this moment. Probably like doing some chest beatings and like, yeah, this feels good. This cold, this refreshing. Reminds me of growing up as a kid in Sweden.
From the looks of it, you could probably just carry this cooler by yourself.
Nord, you look down and maybe you could. Simon, as you look over, you see Mariah, of course, the 12-year-old going on 13 going on 30. Daughter of Leah, and Leah is carrying her at present. Are you, Leah, carrying Mariah? Yeah. You've got her on your hip. She looks more like a little girl now than she has pretty much any other time you've seen her. It's not that she's scared, it's just, she's on her mom's hip. She's a 12-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And she's singing a nursery rhyme. Leah, of course, looks like she's on a mission, but it's the kind of zealotry you've seen in certain people, where they're willing to do, zealous things. Perhaps she's even an ideologue. Leah, describe, how does Leah appear to Simon right now?
Leah, she looks very stoic in a sense, but also you can see that in her eyes there is what's the word I'm looking for? Not confusion. She's not exactly confused about what she thinks she needs to do. She is almost, she realizes that there's a lot more going on than she understands, and she doesn't even know where to start, but she knows that she needs to stop these people somehow, basically. I'm not sure, I'm sure there's a better way to encapsulate that, but you can tell there is some doubt in her mind as to what is happening, really.
It's also a touch of Attaway in her.
Yeah.
Simon, you look over, all of your cadre is sort of ranting and raving in this freezing cold. You see Tony, who, this is nothing new for Tony to be kind of strange, but he's standing, his shoulders back, kind of in a heroic pose, maybe 1 foot Captain Morgan style on one of the rocks on the beach. When he's talking, there's spit coming out of his mouth, like a Shakespearean actor in this freezing cold. The wind hits. He looks absolutely convinced, heart and souled, like a good old, hey, Tony, describe to Simon how Tony looks to him.
Tony looks at him like a Shakespearean actor is looking at an audience member. Yeah. Right in the middle of a monologue. One of the most famous monologues that you could think of for a given play.
Which is to be or not to be. Likely. But done with a Canadian accent.
Yeah.
So go on.
Yes. Tony's very animated.
To be or not to be. Yeah.
A.
Hey. Fucking Canada. Yeah, okay. Great. Simon, that's the situation. We're going to move forward. We're in the dread. As the action is on you, Simon. All of them, they're talking. It's animated. It's almost like this loony bin. You're the eye of the storm. You're the only person that still is centered. That's still a rock. Hey, do you have any flaws?
Yes.
Could you tell me a few of them? Because I'm gonna
Callous, stubborn, reach for, night terror, judgy, and in the fog.
Yeah, we'll say it's judgy. As I will use my arbiter privilege to bid for you, judgy. It is not exhausted, so you can still bid it as you wish.
Right.
As you see all of this, go. Action's on you.
Well, let's get a move on it. Nord, use some of that strength of yours and grab the other side of this cooler. We got to get to going if we're going to stop this.
Yeah, man. Smells so good out here. None of the snakes like there was before. So many snakes. Why are there so many snakes in Detroit? I thought snakes were cold-blooded. It reminds me of the time, snakes.
Oh, yeah. Just grab
in
grab the
Korea,
cooler.
what they
Grab the
did to
cooler.
us.
You can tell the
Whetans,
story and walk. Same time.
They never paid for the cars. Like, I thought they should pay for the cars,
Yeah,
but they never did.
Don't make me get Mariah help me with this.
Yes, Sweden, Switzerland.
I just start to drag the cooler.
What do you bid this? This cooler probably weighs 200 pounds.
No, I got you. I'm working. I spaced out. If we're in the dread, I'd like to bid something.
Oh yeah, you're definitely in the dread.
I would like to bid my ranger ability or not ranger ability, my ranger trait background to get us to let us find the place again.
Yeah, as Simon, you saying what you do seems to awaken. Maybe not. It doesn't wake Nord up because he's high, but
Just redirects them.
it directs him as he one arms his side just to this amazing sight. He's this like skinny, lanky dude who just picks up that side and starts trucking in leaves that are frozen, like smacking him in the face and shit. He just doesn't care. As he rangers in, you are held down to the other side and you're pulled in with him. Harry Bunkum says, going in the front door of the lake will just ruin the hardwood. I love it. All right, the rest of you, what are you doing?
Leah will sort of, she'll do you guys think that the 2x2 hands up blue people are good guys?
Now you notice, Leah, that as you turn around, the only person that's on the beach is Tony. You hear this crunching and
Leah would have followed them.
Oh, you're following. Okay. You
Yeah.
have to tell me.
Yeah,
You
I
also
would be
breathe.
left alone.
Are you also breathing?
Yeah.
You have to tell me everything. I want to know everything. Left foot, right foot, left foot.
I think this cooler belonged to them. And I think they're all dead. I don't think they're going to be fighting with us on this mission.
They're not all dead.
Well, not
What
all of
makes
them,
you
but
think
the
the
ones...
cooler? What makes you think the cooler belonged to them?
I don't know, they were magic. I mean, they had, not magic, but they had a technology with those gloves that was beyond anything I'd ever seen.
I mean, yeah, but like we found this with the zealots and a bunch of dead bodies. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have anything to do with those guys.
Well,
You
those
guys want
guys are
to-
murderers.
If either one of you wants to throw down, since you guys are touching on something, it would be mind to figure this out and actually get an answer.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to throw down.
Normally, I would leave it as a mystery, but you guys, you're both touching on a really good part. This mystery, this revelation, so your characters could potentially have a conclusion about it. Here are the stakes.
Down on that too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you guys can know whoever throws down on it. You'll get. We'll just if you succeed, you'll get different bits of information. Here are the stakes. If you don't succeed, you still get information. It just may not be the right information. So as players understand what your characters know is not necessarily what you know.
And I'll throw down on it as well.
Do it. This is a reaction roll since you guys have been talking about it. Tony, you're welcome to if you would like. The threshold on this is 5.
Ooh.
This is a mystery. And so it is not the highest threshold, which is like 8. This is 5. So it's very difficult.
I was about to say, I don't even think I can get that
Probably not.
high.
Probably not.
I can if I start bidding. Dang.
You can spend breath to get limbo on it, is how you would do it.
Oh, so
Yeah,
we can't
you know
do
what?
anything for this.
No, this is a reaction roll, so you don't have to bid, but it's a throwdown, so you can do all the stuff you can normally do. In
Right.
fact, you can always do all the stuff you can normally do.
I literally can't get a 12 or like a 5, so I'm just
Mhm.
gonna go ahead and spend a breath to get the limbo.
Okay, yeah.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah, and degrees of failure too. Like, just because you fail doesn't mean you get everything wrong. You just wouldn't get
Yeah.
things as right.
I'm gonna use a fabrication to make a reroll. Okay. Can I bid journalist to activate my when plans go awry?
Yep.
Well, I guess it's not a failure. I have 3 successes. How does that work?
Drizzle, you're on the Twitch stream, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you able to also have the book open, or is that too much?
What do you mean?
Oh,
Like,
I
digital
can look it up. I mean, I asked how.
Yeah, I know,
how it
but
works.
I
should know.
I want someone on book is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey Holker, do you have the digital book?
No, I don't.
Good. I need to get it to you. Hey, by the way, since we're on an ad break, if you want the digital DreadLore core book, it is the full book, 494 pages of it. It's got everything in it. It is free. So go to dreadlore.com and you can download it for free. Also, if you get a core book, you can get the digital with it. So who wants to be the on-book person?
the space bar? It changes the.
Drizzle, would you? Okay, yeah. Yeah, it actually needs to be Holker because Ken's doing too much and Leah is on a phone. I shall send you a link soon.
I need to download it. I still have the
Even
link
the great-
saved, but I haven't
found it.
downloaded it yet.
Oh, you got it? All right. What does it read, sir?
It says, when plans go right, even the greatest strategic minds cannot prevent the occasional bump in the road, but they can surely reevaluate their circumstances and find the silver lining in a poor situation. Then again, sometimes your damn luck and fare better than your damn luck and fare better than expected. Activate when plans go awry to change the utter failure into a normal failure. Limbo can't be made into a clean success, but evading this ability improves the yes but result in your favor. A pirate, instead of robbing you blind and then marooning you, simply maroons you. Of course, only a tyro, I don't know who a tyro is, bids and expects success. Doyens and some creativity earn it. So it seems like it's more of a defensive thing than a learning thing, the way I'm reading it. It's not super active. If I bid journalism and or if I bid something like Child of the World, would that reduce the threshold a little bit?
So it does not reduce the threshold unless it literally says it does.
Okay, so those are.
But it might give you successes towards things.
Okay.
So there's only a couple abilities that actually reduce thresholds.
Yeah.
And the other way to
I
do
know.
that is by being very strategic and being like, "Hey, can I make the situation more in my favor?" That
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I don't think that I can get any more than what I have for this
Good.
moment. So I got 3 successes throwing down.
All right. What the rest do you get?
I got
5?
5.
Nice. Jesus. Well done. Limbo on you. Leah went to limbo with breath. What about you, Tony? Are you going to do anything?
Nope.
Saving them resources. All right. We will start with the failure, the degrees of failure first. Nord, as you're sitting there talking to Leah about this mystery, whose thergic device is this? This freezer, this cooler, as you guys are calling it. She makes a good point. You guys don't know. You don't really know anything about the technology, the difference between the mysticism, the quote unquote magic technology, alchemy. It is a little bit blurry, but you feel like you're probably on the right track. This seems more like the pseudoscience that the detectives were using than the occult type mysticism, magica that, well, the occultists were using. The occultists seem to be using stuff that's word of mouth. It's chanting. It's more esoteric in that regard. Whereas the detectives used physical properties to elicit things. You realize they had these gloves. That's these thergic gloves allowed them to do certain things. Perhaps alchemical elixirs allowed them to withstand certain things. It wasn't magic per se. It was just a kind of science. But Leah brings up the point. Why was the thergic box in that box truck? You don't have something that really adds up, and it's difficult to not rationalize it. Now you can rationalize it, but there's a big uncertainty there. She brings up a good point. Leah, dropping breath ages one. One is aged by dropping breath. Roll your D10. Have you been marking the tallies on your sheet when you spend breath?
I have tallies on my sheet, but I can't. That was for something that happened last time.
Yeah, it's
Or
for
was it
breath.
for breath? Was it for breath?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah.
I don't ask for tallies unless it's breath.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. It may have been how many times you said Erishkigal or something like that. But how many do you have?
8. 8.
Okay. So go ahead and roll that. We're going to say it's 4 breath. So make a little note on your sheet that notes that.
Okay. Wait.
Roll your d10.
As a 6.
Okay, so add that to it. So you have 14. The idea is this: when you get up to 20, your period of life ages. So if you're hardened, you would go up to the next tier. And what that means is you actually gain some traits, but you gain usually flaws and you gain derangements from it. Okay. As you spend breath, you have endured so much. You've been so rock solid. You've seen so many mind shifting, soul crushing things in the last 3 days, and have effectively dissociated yourself from those emotions. As you get into, just like a relationship, as you get into this debate with Nord, maybe you feel this surge of anger, maybe it's a annoyance, perhaps it's just exasperation of all the stuff that has happened. This is such a small thing, but it's the straw that breaks the camel's back type thing. Or maybe you're obsessed with knowing. As you power through and you feel the sort of stress headache, you just push it all down, but you know this is self-destructive. You know that, again, not just your physical body, but emotionally, you're going to need to do some therapy. After all of this, you are aware of this as you gain this knowledge. With limbo, it's a yes, but. Nord's point, while he can't prove it, that the cooler is the detectives, somewhere deep down, you know it's probably true. And that's annoying. It's annoying that he's probably right. He's making the right points. As you've seen what it does, it's all brassy and it's got these weird tubes. It reminds you of Grimwald's. It reminds you of hitting Grimwald.
Yeah.
And of his alchemy. In fact, maybe in his alchemical lab, you saw the kinds of metals and the things that were in this cooler. Nord is probably right. You can't prove it, but he's probably on to something. How you feel about that is up to you. Simon, you got limbo as well. As these two are talking about it and you're holding the case, the thought might cross your mind, and this is a yes but situation, so it's not a certainty. If this was stolen from the detectives, that means the occultists know the detectives are watching them. And you remember back to Elliott Cemetery when Detective John, the older guy with the mustache, told you that, or told you all, that they serve a different being of power.
The Lady of the Veil.
The Lady of the Veil. And part of the rules are they don't involve themselves directly. And these occultists, at least the ones that matter, also know the rule. Whoever they serve, they don't directly deal with the people in the know. There's a thought. Maybe the occultists are cheating. And there's a wave of, what does that mean? Uncertainty. Okay, go. Actions on you guys.
Well, in all fairness, the truck had a head in the glove compartment. So the cultists could have killed whoever was transporting this. and taken the truck from them. I don't think that the detective was saying that they can't get directly involved. I don't think the occult is following those rules anymore.
Why did the guys we murdered on the streets of New York with the blue gloves, they had a body in their trunk. So their hands aren't clean. They're not clear.
No, neither of their hands are clean. It's just whether or not we want either of these rituals going through or not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the blue guy's hands are clean, probably.
You guys
If
make
only-
it to a clearing. We're out ahead 20, 30 feet through the brush and over some uneven terrain. You see that massive monolithic statue. It's rectangular, carved into the shape of some sort of weird chimera. Very stylized. It still has the four sides, so it looks like a big pillar, but think of like a totem pole. Part of the nose is blown off.
In all fairness, any of these groups that have these rituals, can you tell me a single one of them that's actually a good thing?
I mean, I don't
No.
think that the blue man. The blue man weren't having rituals. I don't think.
They're like cops for the undead is the way I kind of gathered it. But I mean, why did they have the body in the truck? That just always bothered me. If they got a body in the trunk, there's something.
Admittedly, I was being a little literal, because they have the gloves, And I'm pretty sure they keep their hands pretty clean.
Oh, come
What
on,
if-
Mom.
What if
You hear Mariah go, "Ah."
what if this portal is a way to make people just disappear? What if
What do you mean?
instead of people trying to come into our world, we're taking stuff and throwing it into theirs, making it
Let's
Just
solve the
disappear.
trash problem. Like we wouldn't have to worry about where we'd need to like all these garbage facilities wouldn't have need more area. It'd probably reduce some of the other issues associated with just dumping
what
out
you're-
garbage.
What you're saying is Lady Callie's an entrepreneur, is what she is.
Lady Callie is a bad, evil. She sucked the life out of me, and just with a look.
Cutscene. A different dimension. A mountain of garbage as a portal opens and all this trash goes through. Last is thrown out a little girl of about the age of maybe 15 or 17 or so. As she rolls down the hill. Tight zoom in on Greta Thunberg. Back to the Red Writ.
Oh, and then Jeff Goldblum pops up.
Life finds a way. Bow chicka wow wow chicka wow wow.
What's this about?
Harsh.
Bones. Anyway, too many references. Holker is playing Tony Czerniak. As you're in the back, we'll say that you guys aren't just all grouped together. Tony, you're nearest to the shoreline. As there's a sound, you might hear it. You do hear something, which perhaps you turn, perhaps you don't. We'll see if you recognize what the sound is. Make a reaction roll. This will be wits and your action die. For the record, I am drinking Behringer, Knights Valley, Cabernet Sauvignon.
I got no successes.
You gonna do anything else? Or are you just gonna leave it lie? You know, the last time Leah did this, she got swamp thinged.
Wait, what was it doing?
Ignoring the reaction rolls to hear the
Oh.
shit creeping up behind you.
Oh, right. That.
In the basement.
I am.
I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you need to. I'm just saying, you know, you can ignore it if you want.
I
You never know. It could be a book rolling down the or a box. Who knows?
Hey, Dominus Christi, Spiritus Sancti.
I'm going to bid my focus.
Okay, you made your focus. That will do.
So you're trying to
don't
focus
need to-
real hard on the sound.
You don't need to bid for it. If you want to bid something to activate an ability that gives you successes, you can do that. Or you can bid Ninja Gear or proficiency to reroll. Actually, just bidding a trait doesn't do anything except it allows you to affect the story. But if it's a reaction roll,
All
you
right.
don't have to do that.
I will bid my proficiency. Do I get to reroll one die?
Yep. Reroll a die, any die. Chat, if you have any questions about mechanics, let us know.
That is one success.
All right. Threshold is 1. So you are at limbo. Do you want to do anything else to try to get a clean success? Or are you going to keep it at limbo? Give you 5 seconds. 4.
Yeah, I will bid guard.
To activate an ability that gives you successes.
Yeah,
Which ability do you activate with guard?
I will activate prayer.
Ooh, prayer. Yep. And how many upgrades do you have on that?
2.
Yeah, so that gives you 2 successes additionally. So you're at 3. You get a narrative point since you beat the threshold by 2. You can spend it now, or you can bank it. Remember, you can only have 5. Give you 3 seconds to decide. 3,
I'll keep it for now.
2. Okay. Tony, you hear a sound. It sounds like breaking glass and a shout. Echoed across the water. You've heard this before. You've been on the border. You're used to being near the lake and hearing those echoes and such. We're going to say that's a thing. As you turn, maybe walk a few steps out, just outside the forest. The rest of your party is 40, 50 feet beyond you. Inside, you're looking out at the beach. And your eyes are drawn to across the bank, the lighthouse, the abandoned lighthouse that is apparently not abandoned. It has a light on that I keep on harping on and nobody pays attention to. That one, the light goes out. You see some shadows, some silhouettes as the light slowly, it's an incandescent, massive incandescent bulb, as it slowly fades, and you see apparently a struggle going on, a crash, and a body fly out the window, landing on the beach. There's a scuffle as rumble in the sky. The sleet and such is obscuring your view, and now it's completely dark. You can just barely, over the storm and the thunder, maybe pick out some struggle, and then it's gone. And
Guys, that lighthouse.
and darkness.
Someone got deported from the top of that lighthouse, and now they're at the bottom.
You get a pip.
I just saw someone fly out. Look, you remember the light that was there?
Were there any arcs of electricity? Did you see?
No, but look at it. Look at it now.
Not that you saw. However, that narrative point could mean something else.
There's nothing there. It's dark. Where it wasn't when I was first on the beach. I remember that.
Well, it could be the Blue Hand group up there, because they said that if we stopped the hideaway, that they would help us here.
Help us? You mean that light going out is there to help us?
No, I'm just saying that it could be them fighting somebody. If
That's
there
a
are
stretch.
cultists there. It is a stretch, but there's two other people fighting, so what else are we gonna...
I mean, we could shoot it.
I think we focus on the task at hand. That lighthouse is pretty far away. I don't know what we can do to manage what's going on at that lighthouse.
It's across the river. We'd have to go back across to even get to it, so...
And then whatever's going on here is going to happen. I mean, if you guys want to split up, but I think we stick together. See this thing through.
We're almost to that statue from earlier that Leah shot.
Yeah.
We may want to quiet down a little bit if there's anybody up ahead.
Yeah, I think we should sneak up to this hut, see if there's anybody in there. Can I spend a narrative point saying that that person that was in the hut wasn't in the hut before, is now in the hut?
Yes. You want to spend a narrative point for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Actions on the rest of you. You're walking up to that statue. Tony, you're about 40 feet away from them. What are y'all doing?
Maybe I need to shoot it again.
Maybe we should be on the lookout. I mean, you think anyone saw us?
I don't think they care. I mean, they were pretty.
They literally brought us over on the boat, so yeah, I think they saw us.
I don't think they.
No,
They may be
saw
wondering
us.
where we
They
are.
brought us over on the boat, but do you think anyone else?
Yeah. I think
No,
everybody knows we're
maybe.
here. I think we're
Probably.
expected.
Yeah, that's true. They even had a booth for us at the hideaway, so I think we're pretty well beyond any kind of
They had a booth for us
impropriety.
at the hideaway?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I never got around to telling you guys that. Yeah.
What?
They had a booth ready for us at the hideaway.
How did you find that out?
I went to, there was a table that was empty and it said reserved, and a waiter came up and asked me if I needed any help, and I was asking, well, I asked him if I said I knew the people who the table was for, and I was waiting for them, and he asked me who I was, and then gave him my name, and well, he said, "Oh yeah, that's our booth." So that's what happened.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I wonder how we got that.
Because Lady Callie expects us, like we said earlier.
Oh yeah, I guess you got a point. I think we should go to that hut and see who's in there, see if they have anything to do with any of this. Why don't we, Tony? Why don't you and I sneak up there and you guys, maybe Simon as well, Mariah. Well, actually, I think that probably Leah should sneak up there with Simon. Tony and I should hang back. See.
Are you going to carry Mariah?
I can walk
Yeah,
on my
I'll hang-
own.
I'll hang
Mom,
with Mariah.
I'm 13. I can walk through a forest.
Aren't you supposed to be humming?
As she struggles like a cat to get out of your grip.
Tell
All
you
right, let's just all
what.
go together.
Tell you what. I'll stop worrying about it when the song in your head goes away.
I'm fine. There's no song in my head.
Anyway,
Maybe we should just
you
stick
guys,
together.
you guys go ahead and
go.
sneak up on that hut.
I'm gonna
She just struggles.
Who's with me?
Yeah.
That hut only had
I'll go with you.
small entrance.
All right.
So, Leah,
Well, it'll be
you and I want to
Tony
hang
and I.
back.
You guys hang here. We'll shout in fear if anything mean is there.
You guys go.
All right, so
Good.
go on. Simon,
Um,
what were you saying?
You guys flank it on this side, and Leah and I will take the box on this side. Just remember, we'll be going slower because we have the box.
Copy.
So you guys are
copy.
following them.
Well, we're flanking the hut.
Nice.
I
So
see.
these two are going this way, and we're going this way.
Okay. And in front of the hut, a good 20, 30 feet. So you got the statue. You guys are like at the foot of the statue right now as it's looming over you. The thing's about 20 some odd feet tall. Or it seems that. Behind the statue, the grade goes down. It's slick, muddy, frozen. A small hill, like a dell, if you will. And then 20, 30 feet down there is where this camouflaged hut is. You know where it is. So it'll take a little bit of doing to get around the statue with the cooler and then coming down since it's kind of heavy. So which one of you are going around the left side of the statue, which means it's a little bit rougher terrain, to come around the flank, around the back of the hut? Which of you are going to the right of the statue where the path kind of leads directly to the hut's entrance?
I
I'll take the
presume
right.
that we should go the right to the direct
Yeah,
entrance.
the easy road.
Yeah, I'll go with you, Tony.
So Tony
so the
and
people-
Nord, who are not holding
Yeah, the heavy
load,
rock.
go the easy way. Meaning that Leah and Simon, you see them walk off up the hill and slide down as you're just sitting there holding this cooler.
Well, I mean, Nord, you're the one who wants to
They're gone.
talk to this person. Leah, we've got the backup on this one. If something goes
Yeah.
wrong, we're off to the side and can rush in.
So you go up to the left?
Yep.
All right, so it's like carrying something heavy and cumbersome up deep embankment in the mud. What do you guys bid? Because you get about 3 feet up and you're like, this fucking sucks.
And Leah's carrying Mariah too still. So
Oh,
like,
Mariah-
it really sucks.
Yeah, okay, you definitely need a bid. Mariah
Mar-
actually will use this chance to break free. Leah, you can attempt to bid. I should say you can bid to keep her on your deal, or you can bid her to keep her on.
Hey,
She's
Mariah,
like, this is crazy. Let me down.
Mariah, why don't you ride on the cooler in between us?
As she jumps on the cooler.
Okay, fine.
Unless, Leah, you don't want her to.
No, I'll let her ride on the cooler.
Yeah, it gets a little bit easier and harder for you both somehow at the same time.
Leah will outbid unscathed.
Okay.
To kick it, yeah.
And I'll bid strong.
Yeah, as you two bidding unscathed and strong. Unscathed, Leah, you've hauled crazy shit through crazy places before in terrible situations. Simon, you're just very strong. And Mariah attempts to not move so as to maintain the balance and the weight. As you guys make the slog up the left side, constantly looming above you, this odd, inhuman face of the statue that's been marred by your bullets, Leah, seeming to look down at you, despite its eyes lidded. There's the feeling that it is watching you.
We'll kind of, when she gets that feeling, she'll kind of look up at it. It's like, yeah, well, I got your nose, motherfucker.
Oh,
As Mariah follows your your line of sight. And you guys get up onto the other embankment and start moving down. Ahead of you, to the right, Nord and Tony, you slip and slide down, able to keep your footing. You see ahead of you, 20, 30 feet, the camouflage tent. If you didn't know where it was, you could walk right past it and not see it. Actions on you two.
You got a flashlight?
It's a good
Yes.
point. Nord, you will get a pip. It is nighttime. I mean, it's 1 a.m. and you're in a forest. It's actually almost pitch black. That is a good point. My bad for not mentioning it. Nord, you will get a pip for mentioning it. We'll say in here, there's a little bit. You can see like the outlines of things because there's snow, and any kind of light will be reflected off the clouds. So there's a little bit of sheen. You can barely see. You can make out little bits and pieces.
And is there a light coming from the hut?
No.
It is dark.
That said, we'll say that it's not pitch black. It's just really low light in here. There's no light coming from the hut.
What do you think?
I think it's
Ready.
dark, and we need a
I think it's
flashlight.
dark.
You hear a snarl emanate from within the hut.
I shine my light towards it.
Great. Are you going to bid anything? You just doing it?
No, I'm just doing it.
As you do it, Tony, quick, like a gunslinger with that flashlight, border patrol style, pulls up his mag light. And you see a gaunt face. Windswept, wet. Looks like this person's been rode hard and put up wet.
Ooh.
Long hair, training down its face. Black, gray lips. Blood red eyes. A mouth full of teeth. An ichor coming down its chin. As Nord, you recognize, almost not, the visage of William Tibbets.
Shit.
As he flashed in the face, Drizzle, aka Simon, will you roll me a d12, how high or low?
Low. And it is high.
Leaps from the mouth of this hut at Tony. Tony, this thing, you see the flash of its hands as the fingernails seem to explode out of its fingers. Talons. Its mouth opens up, disjointed jaw, leaping for you to rip out your throat. You can make a reaction roll as it attempts to do so. Nord, as this thing, seemingly crazy, perhaps frightened, who knows, whips past you, leaping like 20 feet. The smell of decay and old death almost makes you gag.
Can I spin cunning?
Yes, you can spend cunning.
I spend cunning.
Oh, okay.
to-
As this is going on, Tony, do you spend cunning?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you guys are spending cunning. As you see this happening, you use the resource that you have at your disposal in DreadLore. You guys can go before the antagonists. Indeed,
that's fine.
what do you do?
I pull up my little laser sword and
Oh, wrong.
I pull out my dirgy dirk and I shout, "William, stop! It's Nord.
As you pull out the Dirgy Dirk, you see the runes on it alight in a bluish orange alternating spectrum. And you shout, what do you bid as you do this?
I'm gonna bid. I don't know, mind over matter. New trait that I have.
Ooh. As frightened by this thing, which you are likely aware, Nord, you know what this is. Also, you're high as balls. Like there's like tracers and all kinds of shit. You'll need to throw down.
Yeah, we is this a mind?
I mean, which aspect are you going to use? That
My
will
mind.
inform how difficult it is.
Yeah, no, hey, well, it's an introductory. So wits. So I guess I have a little rapport with William.
There you go. Go ahead and throw down. Leah, will you roll me a D10? Simon, will you roll me a D8? We'll find out what the threshold is on this.
1 success.
William Tibbet's bow def is 3. What'd you get?
1 success.
So that's
And
4.
I got no successes.
All right, so the threshold is 4.
Mhm.
On a 4, it'll be limbo, which means he will halt the attack but still be ravenous.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Clean success, obviously he stops.
bid no pain to activate counterpoint.
Yep.
Which gets me to 4 successes. And then
You see him looking over as you're shouting, but he's still coming at Tony.
I might use a proficiency to re-roll it on my die,
Do it.
which gives me an additional success. So that's 5 successes with flair.
Whew. All right. Flare gives you a trait or a proficiency back. You recover it. As you are at limbo at present. You gonna do any ninja gear or anything?
Yeah. Just to distract him, I'll flash my camera. It's Nord, and I like pull out my camera and my other hand, and I'll do a flash. So I'll re-roll that. I like had a little brain fart. I was just kind of in the moment. God damn it. such a high die to like lose. So I guess I'm just gonna go with limbo.
All right. As William Tibbet's leaping out, kind of stumbles and he does like the
Wait,
Chinese wire run. Yes.
didn't you say you got 5 successes?
Yeah, I got 5 successes.
Oh,
Four
yeah, it was
was,
social 4, so it's a clean success. Nice.
Yeah.
My bad.
Okay.
Well done on the Drizz Fest. You get a pip.
Oh, nice.
As
Okay.
he does this sort of like China run wire technique. What is that called? It's like free running. You know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where he's like,
Yeah.
What is that called? Air
It's
running.
usually well, they call the whole thing wire work.
Yeah, wire. It looks like a wire work, like he's
Yeah.
defying gravity. As he slows his pace, Tony, you have spent cunning. You can go, or you can retract the cunning if you want. You can still go. This creature, which looks a lot like a vampire, slows his halt, or slows to a halt before you, leering at you, standing over you. This lanky body, its neck elongated, kind of cocked to the side, mouth full of teeth, like Baraka, and it's clearly a monster in front of you. As it quickly turns and speaks in this foul language, kind of like how he's hawking up a hairball at you, Nord.
I suppose you know I were. Go ahead.
Go on.
I will use my cunning to jump back and reach for my 38 special.
As Tony, insert of the 38 special.
With the
All right.
flashlight in the other hand.
You do.
And by the way, your description reminds me of Special Containment Procedures 96. It's a fictional video game character.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Procedures?
Special Containment, or SCP 96.
Yeah.
Huh. I did not know what that was. Cool. I'll check that out. So, it's still your turn. And you guys are in the scene together. The action is just on Tony.
I
So
say,
you can interact. You do.
you speak English?
Yeah, you can speak English.
As you say that, Tony, it turns its attention away from Nord, quickly looking down at you hungrily as it licks its lips. You see it actually cuts its own tongue on its teeth.
I'm aiming for the head.
Just a sec, Tony, he's a friend of mine. Well, friend is a stretch. We know each other. We have a rapport. A report, some would say.
A rapport?
We write.
As it just snarls and grunts at you, licking its lips, but it doesn't seem to attack. Action's still on you, Tony.
William, Mr. Tibbetts, I give you that hat back. Remember that? We're friends. You've kind of de-evolved a little bit since last I saw, but I think you were inviting me to your club at the time, and I just want to know how things are going. You check in, some would say.
You hear William Tibbetts making clicking sounds as it says another few guttural words in this ancient language. It rears back, almost bending in half backwards, and lets out this howl that shakes the earth.
Does he
Simon.
remind me? Okay.
Huh?
Does he remind me of the vampires, or does he?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
From the sewers.
Yeah.
From the
Simon.
sewers.
Yeah, but he looks feral. Simon
Yeah.
and Leah, you hear Nord yelling. You see a flash of light, a flashlight, and then this horrible howling, inhuman, coming from where they are. What are you guys doing? Action is on you two.
Guess he found something.
Oh, we probably need to double time it.
Yeah.
So you all are aware mechanically, this is the player turn. I'm just giving, they did not get the chance to do cunning. They're getting first on the player turn. Okay, action is on you two.
So we're picking up. Well,
Climb it down the hill, yeah.
we're picking up the speed carrying the thing.
You have bid already. Go ahead and throw down to make sure you don't drop the case as you move. You
Would that
know,
be brawn?
there's no. Yeah, brawn will work. There's no need to bid on this because you've already done so.
Yeah, so, okay, so I got 3 successes.
I got 2 successes.
All right.
And I got a flare.
I was going to say the threshold for this is 1. So, Leah, you got a narrative point. Both of you clean successes. You're got a kung fu grip on this cooler as you slide down, not stealthily so much, Nord and Tony. Over the howl, you may not be able to hear them, but perhaps you do. That's up to you. As you guys come around the corner and you see the scene before you. Nord very close to him, trying to talk to this creature who's almost doing a backbend. Tony standing there, flashlight out, 38 special. This thing turning around, seeing all of you, its senses incredibly heightened as it lurches forward with a crack, 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 crack of its vertebrae on all fours, looking around like this wild animal.
We're not here to
Oh.
hurt you. We ran into some of your friends, buddy.
With my narrative point,
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say that when he was howling, he actually started choking on his own spit.
As he does, he hurls this geyser of blood and chunks all over. Hey Nord, hey Tony,
You want
make reaction rolls.
Yeah.
Or reaction rolls, or you can bid or throw down. It's up to you. You just need one success, or you can bid
I'll throw it
to
down.
not get blasted.
I will throw it down.
I got
Throw
one
it
success.
down.
Okay.
I got 2 success.
All right. All you needed was technically it was a threshold 0. So Nord, you get a narrative point. As how do you guys get out of the way of the geyser of vomit?
I'm gonna spin my narrative point now, saying that it's not getting out of the way so much as that Nord's moving so fast because he's so high that he doesn't really stay in the same place for very long. So he's just like, we're buddies, right? And, like, he's just moving around.
As he vomits all over where you were. What about you, Tony?
Tony just had a flashback, not to Vietnam, but to some shifts late at night with some drunk people coming back from Windsor. And they are drunk. And they get out of the car. I ask, do you have anything to declare? They got a sober driver, don't get me wrong, but the other 3, no, they're pretty wasted. And those other 3,
See 1981.
when I say, do you have anything to declare? Oh, they declare. And I was able to jump out most of the time and avoid their declaration.
That Cheval Regal all over American soil.
Yeah,
You'll get a pip
they
for that.
trained me
Well
well.
done. As Tony does the boot scoot out of the way. So you all know mechanically that will, since William Tibbets being a vampire, a creature, feeds on blood, that will actually weaken him since he just lost a lot of blood. So his BODF will go down from 3 to 2. All right, that's the player turn, top of the round, world action. The howl resounds. Nord, you can tell that he's not just attacking at first sight. He was obviously startled. But you realize William Tibbets is maybe not William Tibbets anymore. He's different than the spawn you saw. He's definitely different than the proper creature, vampire lord you saw. He's gone feral. This is what Corthon, the vampire lord you saw, was attempting to stop happening from the guy that you guys had attacked. Or I should say that the guy that just started losing his will. Still, though, William is not attacking, but you know he's dangerous. He's hungry.
Sure.
He's looking around world action style in preternatural fashion, which is a thing that creatures can do if you ever want to play a creature game. You see his body start to discorporate into smoke, black smoke. There's a wind that you can't feel blowing the black smoke as he goes into the hut in an instant, almost like a bad film on fast forward. And he's gone.
Yeah. So I'm
That is the
guessing
world action.
There's something in the hut.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Well, if he's starving, maybe there's a victim in the hut too.
We go through the cunning round. If you guys want to spend cunning, you can. If you want to gain 2 turns in this round, then its antagonist, and it's you. Anyone spend cunning or no?
To get into the hut, or
If you
we
wanna
already
go-
used our cunning.
This is a new round.
Okay.
That was the world action. So now it's the antagonists are going, they're doing something.
Mm.
You guys can
Sure.
go first if you want. You just don't know what it is they're doing.
Well, I am gonna bid altruistic and spend
Are
cunning.
you gonna okay. You don't have to bid and spend cunning, but you can
Yeah,
spend cunning and then bid to do something.
and then I'm going to bid altruistic and rush in because I'm concerned there might be somebody in the hut with him.
The rest of you see immediately following the train of smoke, Nord dart into the hut. Does anyone else spend cunning? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Like
Nord.
I'm on my own.
Actions on you as you burst into this hut. It smells like two buttholes
Yeah, rubbed together.
rubbed together. Thank you, our sponsor.
From outer space.
You notice from outer space. You notice a pile of used preparation H. Anyway, in this hut, many things. It looks like someone's been living here who does not have very good hygiene. You note, perhaps in the brush, it's incredibly dark in here. Very difficult to see. You can just see a little bit of the reflection from Tony's flashlight creeping in, which gives you your brain. Perhaps, can you trust your brain? The image of, are those body parts lying in the brush, mangled? In the center of this hut, a little teepee or tripod with a pot hanging from it. There's something gurgling in it, although there's no fire. There's a smoke in here swirling ominously overhead in the hut. Bits and pieces of detritus all over the place. Laying on the opposite side, this large book. You don't know what's in it. You can't see. It's very, very dark. Some instruments next to it, perhaps. Again, you can't tell what they are. Actions on you.
William, I think I know how to save you.
The cloud circles.
We've got a friend that has a condition that isn't entirely similar to what you've got going on. We just got to go to this lake. Maybe you could come with us. And if worse comes to worse, I think there's going to be some food there that you might like. I got little stabby things, so I'm not easy necessarily to kill, but they're just cultists. So I mean, they're just chanting or something. I don't know. Maybe you could come with us.
Throw down.
Oh, again.
Oh,
many throwings downs. Zing.
Hey, Tony, will you roll me a D10? Hey, Simon, will you roll me a D8? William has a bow def of 2 now, thanks to Leah.
No successes on my end.
I rolled a 2, so that's no successes.
Threshold is 2.
So I have 2 successes.
Okay, you are at limbo. So it's a yes, but. You gonna push forward or no?
I don't want to interrupt your house, but there is a way back from this. So you can choose to come with us or not. And then I'm going to take off.
Oh, Right. Well, he gets to go first. So you're at limbo. All right. That's a good answer to the question. As Nord, you stand there
Sort of back out the door.
starting to back out the door, but it's the yes and the but. You bump into William Tibbets as he corporates behind you. You smell his breath hot on your neck. I accept. I will come with you. And then he bites your fucking neck. You may roll a reaction roll.
I'm
But
totally
first,
going to do
I
that.
must feed.
You don't want to eat me, buddy. You're going to trip the fuck out.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yep.
The vampire and Nord come out tripping balls.
A bad call, buddy.
All right, so this is Grace or Braun or whatever you want to roll to avoid getting bitten by the vampire. The creature.
Sure.
He's a creature. He's not a vampire.
Yeah, he's a creature.
He's a vampire. He's a vampire. I say creature because they don't have the same rules as vampires.
Okay.
What's the threshold? Hey, Tony, will you roll me a D8? Hey, Simon, will you roll me a D10? Nord, I'm also going to give you a chaos die of a D6 because this is a pretty ballsy thing for you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 successes.
Hold a 4.
All right, so that's 1 success. So that means the threshold is 5.
I'm going to spend a breath.
Yep. That forgoes all rolls, so you go to limbo. That makes sense. All right. Roll your D10 to see how much your soul ages and mark those tallies down. Tell me if it goes to 20 or over. Quick shout out to Punksicle. This is his mechanic in his Star Wars game. Very, very good game, which honestly, Punksicle is such a good author. He really should continue to write if he's watching this. He wrote essentially the part of the plotline to The Mandalorian and Ahsoka years before those things came out. Anyway, continue. What'd you get? 10?
I got 5.
Oh, 5. So how many tallies are you at?
5.
Oh, you're
This
at
is the
5
first
total?
time this is the first time I rolled for it. I think I need to roll
nice.
again.
That's okay. That's fine. We may have implemented it later. So you're at 5. As you spend breath, Nord, how does this weigh on your soul? How is it that you reach limbo from this? And it ages you somehow, either mentally or spiritually or physically.
I think he just did a little bump. Basically, there wasn't much coke in it, so I think doing drugs for the last 3 days is starting to weigh on him a little bit, and he's starting to feel a little bit stretched. And so when he spent a breath, I mean, it's not that he did a whole lot of action to get out of the way. It's just that I think his inaction. I think that Willem expected him to move and jump out of the way, but he just kind of stood there.
At what point do we find out this whole thing is a result of a 3-day coke bender that Nord's been on?
That'll be in a few sessions. It will be the end of Super Mario Brothers 2. Spoilers.
He just
I love it.
lifted up his camera and like Willem bit his camera. Like he didn't hit the button or anything.
Yeah. That's the yes. Now we need the but. Okay. Players, other than Nord, of course. What is the but of this situation? Doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be negative.
The situation. Well, I want to say the butt of the situation is that he accepts that maybe he's not going to get blood from us, but he's cranky about it because he's hungry. So he's not going to be. He'll be cooperative, but he's not going to be like that cooperative. right now.
I enjoy that since he's cranky. However, with the limbo, there's something unintentional as well. And I think that's rather obvious that the vampire who's hungry will be cranky.
Fair
But I
enough.
do enjoy that. I do enjoy that. It does work. But I'm going to be a little more mean. So we're going to add to it 2 other things because I'm a mean sack of shit. Tony and Simon, what's the but? So William he's cranky. He's not going to feed from you guys though, because Nord got limbo. He spent breath. He's not going to try to feed from you. He might try to convince you, just a little bit.
The but is that he finds one of them dumb people that let us through. Dude wandered through the forest and is right behind us and rushes by and eats him right there.
Oh, I like it. I like that. That incurs sanity rolls, and it means that the occultists have awoken for some reason and are trying to follow you. Excellent. Hey, Simon.
I'm trying to. I keep wanting to say supplicate.
I would go positive because his tone went pretty negative.
What I was going to say was, he noticed that Nord was. I'm not for sure if this is right word or not. Supplicant, but so basically he's subservient. That Nord wasn't going to fight him, so if he needs to feed on him, he knows that if things go wrong, he can just feed on us. So it is always there in the background that if he doesn't get the cultists, he knows that he has a group of 5 that he can just go ahead and eat on.
I see. I like that. I like how that plays on what Leah said. So Nord has gotten through to him. He knows who you guys are. He doesn't want to feed on you, but he knows that in a pinch he can. He's not gonna do it, but if he has to, he will. So there's still the danger. And Nord will say, since you spent breath, you are aware of all of this. We'll say that in the hut, you hear someone else coming from the beach, crunching around. You see William Tibbets turn as he leaps out of the hut. Well, we got to do it because it's the S but, so you can't stop this part. As he leaps out, bursting out, you all see this. He looks like a what do they call him? The bad guys in Harry Potter.
Dementor?
What? Not Dementors.
Dementor or
the bad wizards. You know what I'm talking about?
Death Eaters.
Yeah, the Death Eater. He looks like a little Death Eater, like on a cloud of smoke. As you guys hear the ripping and the tearing, I'm here for the ripping and the tearing.
The gnashing.
If anyone has seen Tosh.0, they know what I'm talking about. As William Tibbets is defiling a cultist who has followed. Let's see how many of them follow you. Let's roll a d4. Who wants to do it?
Let me do it. I always roll like terrible on d4s until this time, I guess.
Do it.
It's a 2.
Okay. So there's 2 of them. One of them is getting eaten. All right. The action is on you guys. It is player turn.
I'm going to try to step in front of Mariah so she cannot see it.
Yeah, you do. Easily, you don't need a bid as he's a good 60 some odd feet away over a bluff.
Okay.
However, you hear it, and it is not a nice sound. Sounds like pigs fucking.
Mariah starts singing her song loudly.
She does. What's the song that Mariah sings? ABC.
That's what it is.
That's all she's got though. ABC.
Yeah.
ABC. Easiest 1, 2, 3. Over and over and over.
That's what she sung through the bar.
She goes a little dark wave and she's like, what to do in the vaccine? The computer knows you. Anyway. It's a little band we we know called all lowercase letters.
Huh.
All right, action's on you guys.
I'm gonna grab this book in the center of the room that I'm in.
As you
book.
near it, the words on it, a light
Tony sees it.
in orange. You see, not clearly, but you can see well enough to know what is beside it. Straight up, a long wand. It looks like something out of Harry Potter. Pearly, twisted, literally a wand sitting on what looks like a big dictionary. One might call it a spell book.
Oh, wild. Well, shit.
The words of this are a light as you hear the gurgling of whatever is in the cauldron, and with the ambient light, you can kind of see this black ichor boiling and some bits and pieces of like teeth and hair going around as an eyeball pops to the top, opens, and is staring at you. This yellow iris. You can roll insanity.
Yeah, I would imagine. I think that's a good start to this. Well, that's a complete failure. It's 2 1s.
That is an utter failure. Are you going to do anything to, when plans go awry, literally is for that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use my very adaptable to activate when plans go awry, which will take my utter failure and turn it into a failure. Yeah, I think
it changes utter failure into a failure.
And then because it's been upgraded twice, does that mean I have?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it gives you +2 because now that we've play tested it, it's actually so much easier. Yeah, it's good. It's good to do. So you have 2 successes. The threshold on this, we're going to keep this a little bit variable. I would say normally the threshold would be 2 or 3. However, we're at a point in the game to where I think it makes sense for things to be random. So we're going to do an upper hand on a D6 and take the higher. That will be the threshold. Who wants to roll the 2 dice? So 1 person and 1 person.
I'll roll 1.
Okay.
I'll roll 1.
Go ahead and roll. Whoever has the higher is the threshold for this.
Is it a D10?
D6.
D6. All right.
You want like just the number, not successes, since this
Just
is
the number. Just the number. All right. Threshold is 3. What'd you get?
I got a 1.
Me?
Yeah. Yeah, Nord. So with your bonuses and such, how many successes?
I don't know. I mean, if it goes from a complete failure to a regular failure, and then
it's a regular failure, but you got 2 successes on top of this. You're at 2 successes right now.
Okay. So what do I need to roll for?
Do you want to add to it? This is ninja gear. This is other abilities. This is proficiencies, etc.
I'm not sure what I've got so far. You're talking about additional.
As of right now, you're sitting at 2 successes.
You're sitting at 2.
Okay. And I need to have 1 more to hit limbo.
Yep.
Right.
I get it. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take a hit off of my drug, I guess. And I got a little bit of coke to get me back up again. I don't know what that's gonna do, but I'm gonna bid addict.
Yep.
To activate my scent of colors.
Okay.
which gives me 2 additional successes.
All right.
So I can kind of understand what's happening in front of me.
As you take this hit, based on the utter failure, when plans go awry, how does Nord... I mean, this is the kind of thing where this eyeball gets in your brain and takes over your body.
Sure.
So that's the utter failure. You're possessed.
Mhm.
But you've got when plans go awry and you do this bump. So how does Nord avoid this?
He starts laughing.
You guys hear
He thinks it's all-
cackling.
He thinks it's just hysterical. It's just like, this cartoon is like, he probably saw the Lord of the Rings, the original version of that
Yeah.
cartoon,
Yeah.
and he is like
The rotoscoping.
Yeah, the rotoscoping. This is like an acid trip with a, and so he's seen stuff like this. It's not, but it's just like super hyper. He's like, this is so real.
As that happens, you sort of cackle the sanity away, getting the clean success, as it's just long enough to where the eyeball goes back underneath into the soup. The light of these words in the book is still there, but it starts to fade a little bit as you pass the sanity roll with flying colors.
Nord, are you okay in there?
No, don't come in.
All right, you guys will be on the player turn, which is effectively you're out of rounds at present. You're still in the dread. Actions on all of you.
I want to grab this stuff off the table, and is there a bag or something I can throw it in? I got a bag, a satchel. Might throw this book and with my other book.
Yep,
And
you do it.
Grab the staff and leave the room, or leave the hut.
Or the wand.
Yeah, the wand.
You take
And
any of the
just not-
bodies or any of that stuff?
No, the bodies can stay.
Okay, they stay. Okay.
Uh,
The rest of you, actions on you.
Uh,
Leah says, "Are we good to go?" That too.
I don't think you made it inside.
I don't think I did either.
I don't
say,
let you in. I don't let anybody in.
Yeah.
I step
I
out and I'm
tell
like,
us-
we shouldn't go in there. This is
I
not a
tell
place for
Leia and
us.
Simon, guys, did you see that thing that greeted us?
it looks
yeah,
like those things that were in the sewer.
that's
He's over
that
there
looks
eating
like
one of
thing you
the
saw in the
cultists.
sewer.
Well, we probably need to book it then.
Hey, Simon.
Oh, no, wait. He's my buddy.
Hey, Simon. Sanity roll. As a dude just turned into smoke. Now, maybe it was smoke and mirrors.
So many mirrors out in the forest.
Okay, what happens if my bone die
Bone die.
lands perfectly like that? It landed on its end.
I think you get a narrative point and get to roll it again.
Oh,
I've got 3 successes with flair.
3 successes with flair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nord, your threshold was 3 as well?
No, it was.
Or was it 2?
It was like, for the insanity for seeing
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was 3.
I've rolled a lot of sanity in the last few minutes. I'm
Yeah, it's
not
3.
a great
Okay.
person to ask.
So it's the same sanity. So threshold 3, you're at limbo.
Okay. I'm going to bid my flask to get an extra D8. I'm going to bid confident on my flask to get an extra
Okay.
D8. Okay, so that's 4 successes. So it puts me past.
All right. Clean success. How does Simon rationalize this?
So he just thinks it moved really fast. He's watched Nord be all jumpy and be all skittery, and like, did he give him some of what he took?
Mm.
And he just booked it out there quicker than.
Indeed, your mind sees the shadows. It's really dark, and you hear the screaming. It's a chilling thing. Mariah, you're standing in front of her. As you guys are out of the rounds, there is the sound of a fight happening. Snarling of a wild beast. The question is, do you guys go to where William Tibbets is and see what's happening, or do you continue on into the forest?
I think we should book it. We should double time it and get to the lake.
Go into the forest. Follow. Yeah, Simon's right.
Actions on
Yes,
you
we should
guys.
go.
Tony, you're involved, and Nord as well. Although Nord is in the hut at present.
Well, I think me and Leah start to take it and
Into the
start
forest?
booking it. Well, and start booking it towards where the lake is, unless somebody stops
What
us.
about Nord?
Let's go. Unless
Yeah, Nord comes out of the hut with his satchel. He's holding it kind of in front of him. Nord, you see Leah and Simon trucking it out ahead down into this, the sinkhole and whatnot, and into the deep forest. You knew it took you about a couple hours to traverse last time as they're ambling down. Tony's standing out there behind you over the hill. You hear, or over the bluff, I should say, you hear sounds of feeding and screaming.
Good. All right, Tony. I think they got the right idea. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's leave before he moves on to the main course.
Make
As
like
you guys-
a tree and leave. No, I think he's with us. I got him. He's with us. Don't hurt him.
You got him?
Yeah, he's on our team.
considering Nord is fully intact, I will tend to believe him.
As Mariah follows, she kind of giggles and she stops singing, Leah. She looks up at you and she says, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, well, you can think that all you want on top of the box.
Fine. As she pouts on the box. There's a moment, she's got this like nasty face screwed up. There's a moment though, Simon, where you see her look over and catch your eye and she smiles at you.
I'll smile back.
As we go into the montage, as you guys trek through the forest, let's take a break. Take a 5 minute? Is that good for you guys? Or do you need a 10?
Sure.
We should
Do it.
do 10 because it always
do
ends
it
up
10.
being 10 anyway.
Let's do a 10-minute break.
It always takes us like way more than
So 10 minutes. Go use El Baño, go do the thing, and we will be back in 10 minutes as you guys roll. All right. See you in 10.
But first,
Word from our
But first-
sponsors.
a word from ourselves, I guess, because we do this every single week. We are playing the Red Writ. This has been brought to you. The story and all that stuff is in the game system of DreadLore. with the cast of Bill Bunkum, Andrea Elliott-Johnson, Daniel Hulker, Drizzle, and Ken Howl. Thank you to all lowercase letters and Mr. Interrupt for the score, and the Patreons members, Tim Roberts, Daniel Hulker, and Nostalgic. Art and media by all lowercase letters, as well as storylines, attitudes, all that wonderful content that we create is in the guise of Trois Reblay Productions, and we are playing a little horror story called The Red Writ. Stay tuned for more, for part 2 coming soon here in a second. Thank you. Of The Red Writ.